The older I get, the quieter I became. I'm not sure if that's down to wisdom, but definitely I noticed that I became a lot quieter and I battled with it for a very long time, but then it worked for me. It did. Women who are quiet often have the advantage in life and in marriage. I've come to realize that. So while some people may think that being loud, being assertive, being outspoken, being extremely energetic is the way to get ahead in life, quiet women know that the power of their words can be just as important. As a quiet woman, I understand that sometimes it's better to be a listener and that it's not always necessary to be loud and be boisterous in order to get ahead. So when it comes to marriage, being a quiet woman can be a great asset. Quiet women are often good listeners, and that makes us great partners, if I do say so myself. We can be patient and understanding, and we don't feel the need to always be the center of attention. These are often We're often very content and satisfied with life, so to just sit back and listen to our spouse, offering support and comfort whenever it's needed. Quiet women also know when to speak up. Absolutely. So while we may be reluctant to be the loudest voice in the room, we understand that sometimes a gentle whisper can just be as powerful. I package my words and deliver it in one single bump, and that's it. Quiet women know that a few well chosen words can make a huge difference. They often have the ability to say exactly the right thing at the right time, which can be incredibly useful in resolving conflicts, especially in marriage and relationships. They're not necessarily shy, they just don't feel the need to speak. There are too many words being thrown around in the world, so why add to it? There's enough words out there. Quiet women only tend to share when things need to be shared. You don't need to say much in most times. Speaking to a woman who is quiet most of the time is like conversing with someone who has to pay for every word she says. She carefully considers her sentences and phrases. After all, she doesn't want to say the wrong thing and have to apologize for it, nor does she want to be misunderstood. So she picks her words very carefully. It's almost as if she has a certain number of words per day and tries her hardest to just stick to those words and refrain from going over the limit. Despite our sparse use of words, she manages to say everything she needs to say. It works in some kind of miraculous way. Now, because quiet women don't waste their time with small talk and fluff, generally they are great writers, and they tend to understand how to get to the point quite quickly. And personally, I must say at this point in time that's why I find storytelling very exhaustive. I don't know how to add and flesh out story or an event in order for it to become a story. So I tend to just go straight to the point to deliver it, and that leaves a lot of the excitement, the build up out of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. It's not just for anybody in the world to watch, but for me to be able to watch back on what skills I have learned as a result of communicating and talking to my camera named Anna. So this is also part of my YouTube journey there, but I'm hoping that this resonates with somebody out there. Even though they are my video logs, I'm putting them out there for me to look back on, for history to be able to see itself play out, but also to help somebody else. If you find that you are a quiet woman, so this video is for you. Quiet women often have the ability to remain calm in stressful situations. It can be incredibly helpful in marriage, as I've said previously, because it allows for both partners to take a step back and think through the problem before they rush into a solution. So we can't just shout our way to a solution. And most, if you've been around for a while, I'm sure you would have heard that in marriage, one person is fire, the other person is water. At different points in life, the role gets turned around. So you wear the different shoes at different points, you will wear different hats at different points. It doesn't mean one person is always fire, the other person is always water. That's bound to cause internal conflicts. So one person tends to be the calmer one during argument, the other person, the other person is flaring up. It's just the way it works. So in the face of someone raging, for instance, a quiet woman is calm with wisdom, not with an attitude that speaks back, but with wisdom that exudes that she fully understands that you are angry, but there is a better way to communicate to handle the current situation, and she's willing to wait until you calm down. So you can't use fire to calm fire, as I said previously. One has to be fire and the other person has to be water. It's just the way it works. Quiet women don't have an ego. The benefit of being quiet, or of being a quiet woman, is that all the time you save from not chatting and responding to everything around you is the time that you spend, or I spend, to be more reflective instead. So being more reflective means that being aware of everything, including myself, being aware of all the emotions I'm feeling, of my environment. Quiet women tend to understand themselves better. You can't tell them about themselves because they've spent that time and effort in getting to know themselves. They understand their emotions and their emotional triggers. So they understand why they feel certain ways. They are able to best label their emotions and the sources and roots of their issues at all times. All this self-understanding tends to give quiet people a better quality of fight, a better ability to fight and ignore their ego, meaning that they don't have the same egotistic or egoistic tendencies that other people usually have. And not having an ego makes quiet people or quiet women better women in general. They can act more rationally in situations. If you know quiet women, spend some time with them, and hopefully you will come to find out the things I'm saying are right. And another reason is that quiet women are often better at controlling their emotions because they've already spent that they spent enough time actualizing. They've spent enough time self-reflecting, and that helps to keep arguments from escalating. They tend to have the ability to control their emotions and stay in control of those emotions, which can keep a marriage on an even keel. It's fantastic. Another reason why quiet women do better in life and in marriage is that they are often more organized and detail-oriented. So quiet women are often great planners and problem solvers. We take our time to think things through, sometimes more than enough times, and that tends to help marriages run more smoothly. I'm not saying I have the best of marriages, but I'm saying it does help. Now, please don't get it twisted. Don't get it wrong. Do not misunderstand me. Quiet women are not bored or unhappy. Just because we are quiet, that will be a very big misunderstanding. You might assume that if you see someone sitting quietly by themselves, they're not having a good time. It's not that. It's not right. You may have the impression that they get bored, they are unhappy, or even unapproachable. You may think that a quiet woman is stupid and can be taken for a ride or for granted. You may think also that a quiet woman doesn't have a comeback in an argument. You will be shocked. This could lead, it couldn't be further from the truth. A quiet woman sits and waits until your cup is full, and then she will serve it to you with wisdom. That's what a quiet woman does. So when left to our devices, quiet people are usually very content. We're happy with life. Quiet women are emotionally sufficient. within themselves, and because they have had the time to process it all from within them, as I mentioned before. We quiet women are not frugal with our emotional expression, so just as we're not with our words. That is why it's not always obvious when a quiet woman is content. She doesn't have to shout it to the world. Quiet women tend to be more stable and secure within themselves. They're not easily swayed by the opinions of other people, and they're less likely to sort of fly off the handle, just do something on a whim. They also are often more mature and grounded. That can help bring balance and stability to a relationship or marriage. So now that we have established that quiet women in their own beautiful ways do better in life and marriage, I need to give you some unknown benefits of silence or of being quiet. The first being that silence encourages mindfulness. There is no way you can be quiet or silent and be loud at the same time, or have a chaotic mind. It's not possible, because quietness promotes attentiveness. Silence can prepare the mind for the practice of mindfulness, which has absolute great advantages to your mental health. Now, being present and observant of what is going on in the moment helps you relax your nervous system, to quiet your racing thoughts, and to lessen the effect of anxiety, and in most cases to even remove anxiety. You may center yourself and just sit in the present moment by practicing mindfulness. It works absolutely fantastic well. But also try to refocus on, try to bring back your attention on the peaceful and present moment wherever you sense that you need to stimulate your brain. Another benefit is that silence encourages self-awareness. By allowing you to watch and accept your thoughts and feelings without passing judgment, silence can help you become more self-aware. You learn more about your body and your mind while you're sitting motionless and quietly. This can provide you with a lot of information that you can thoughtfully query within yourself and attempt to better understand it. So if you are a quiet woman, I want to encourage you to do some, if you're not a quiet woman, I want to encourage you to do some self-reflective work and enjoy the benefits. It may be the opposite of what you're used to hearing, I know. So what's the worst that can happen, really? If you just had this tool, if you had these words or these approaches I've given you as a tool in your relationship and in your marriage, I think it will be very helpful. If you're a quiet woman, don't be afraid to use your voice. Being a quiet woman has its advantages, and I can tell you, because I am one, you can be a great listener, you can be a fantastic problem solver and a great partner. Don't be afraid to speak up when necessary, though, because you don't then want people to take you for a ride. And don't forget to laugh and have fun too. You've got a fantastic sense of humor. Just tap into it, and with a little bit of practice and understanding, you can make your relationships, your marriage work and be the best it can be. After all, we can't all be loud, can we?